Right then, Wigan 0, Manchester United 2, and it's one of the few times in life where we can walk away from a victory and feel like I feel more negative about that game and that performance than I can feel positive. I predicted a 3-0 win. I predicted there to be a bit more sluggish. For all the good work that most of that team were doing into building up some of that play was absolute. I'll tell you what. Let me make a comparison here for you guys. Arsenal losing 2-0 to Liverpool. All the good stuff in the build up, absolute crap in front of goal. Dire trash. Hot garbage. That was us tonight. And I'm way more frustrated than I am pleased or happy. We've got an easy tie come next round, which probably means we're just going to sit here and watch more of that. And literally, it's just a case of 90 minutes of watching overpaid idiots, and they are idiots, trying the simplistic basics of an attacking player on a football pitch. Simple stuff. They can't even do that. 18th place League One side Wigan. And thank goodness for Onana making a save, which, by the way, as a goalkeeper, that shouldn't really be in goal. He should be preparing for AFCON. But Ten Hag is Onana's bitch, so he's going to continue to get games. He's going to play in the Spurs game as well. You watch, he'll play. He'll play in the Spurs game. Bayindir will somehow probably not. They'll probably cancel the games as well whilst Onana's away. They'll just wait for Onana to be available, and then they'll reschedule all the games, and then he can play in all of them. Bayindir will sit there and wonder why the fuck he ever signed for this club. That's probably what will end up happening, you know. But thank bloody God for his save in the first 10 minutes, right? That should have been us going 1-0 down. And thank bloody God for Kobbie Mainoo. You know, a couple of players, and maybe Garnacho in various extents, but everybody else in that attack, oh my God. Oh my God. So fucking bad. Unbloody believable. Big ups to Big T. Absolute shit show. We robbed Wigan with that penalty. Once again, we won, but I can't be happy. We shouldn't be happy with this. We should not be happy. If you're pleased and over the moon with that performance, mate, Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay, two standout performers for absolutely the wrong reasons. Every wrong reason in the book known to man, you name it, they are in it. They are in it. The two hands down worst performers on the pitch. McTominay literally ghosting half of the game. Really wasteful by occupying the spaces that he shouldn't be. Garnacho, I mean, some good. In this game, I guess you can use the term sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's Garnacho in one game. He's managed to go through both the highs and the lows. Højlund, big chances this game. Wasteful. Really wasteful. Marcus Rashford, I don't want to ever see play for this club again. I don't want to see him. Don't want to see him ever play for this club ever again. Bye bye. Sell him. Like Bukayo Saka for Arsenal. The guy's regressing, and he's getting more and more painful to watch with every passing week. Marcus Rashford's regressing. He is. That was a League One side today, and Marcus was one of the worst performers on the pitch. Guess who? Guess who was the second highest earner on the pitch? When your best performances are losses and your worst performances are wins, it's time to give up. I don't want to give up. But Christ, relying on the same things over and over and over again and expecting things to get better when they've not gotten better for 10 years. It doesn't, it just doesn't stick together. Really, really, really just absolutely frustrating. The big ups to Stephanie Griffith as well. Good to see you. My words exactly. Wasteful. Only Mainu and Garnacho impressed. Well, I mean, Bruno Fernandes, the only reason why he escapes most of the criticism is because gets a penalty and that's pretty much it. He's the reason why we get a, whether you believe it's a penalty or not, it's the only reason why we got a cushioning. And this is the thing, at half time I'm watching this game thinking, if we get to the 80th minute and it's still 1-0, I don't see us winning this game. I don't. It would have been written in the stars that we'd cock it up right at the very end. Absolutely ridiculous. And the funny thing is, right, is Rashford, hands down the worst performer on the pitch. He assisted for the first goal. That's how bad he was. You can get an assist for a goal and still be by far the worst performer on the pitch. By far. That's how bad the performance was. Honestly, ridiculous. Big ups to Hot Buzz and Big T Legends. Big ups to you as well, Stephanie. Legend in your own right. And also to Big T. Siddharth SV Palmer. Garnacho is not passing the ball to Højlund. Does anyone notice that or not? Well, no one really passes in the final third full stop, Siddharth. And when they do, it creates the most clear-cut chances, but that's exactly it. That's exactly it. We don't try to look for the pass. We don't use football intelligence. And that's probably one of the biggest downsides to this team in attack. There's no IQ in this team. And Rashford absolutely exemplifies that. Because where he could use some talent to actually pick out the pass, the killer pass, to actually square it into the path of Højlund, to square it into the path to the far post for Garnacho, for a midfield runner, for anything. He just doesn't use his head. But big ups to Siddharth there. Do Bruno and McTominay and Rashid train together? It doesn't look like it. I don't. Do you know what? This is the thing. They train together, but this comes back to the point where the dressing room is split, and these players, I'm very much convinced, do not like each other. I'm very much convinced that they just don't like each other. The cliques in the dressing room, with your British group, your foreign group, maybe it's just the Portuguese contingent, then you've got some of the other foreign players that have their own little cliques, and it's like they almost avoid each other. It's like different groups in the school playgrounds, where it's all just different groups of kids that just avoid each other like the plague. They'll sometimes bully each other, and that's about it. It's like how United's dressing room is. There's no togetherness. There's no desire to sacrifice for your teammate for the betterment of the result and for the betterment of the team. There's no behaviour like that. And you look at other teams, the ones that are most successful, you'll see that there are players that play for each other because they know that they need each other to go the extra mile to get the results across the line. To, and with that behaviour, with that commitment to not just yourself, to the team, to your teammates as well, you get most of those results across the line. And in the long run, those results, they all string up together, and you go far. You go good places. You do go good places. And listen, you might not be the best team in the competition, but if you're a team that is absolutely together, you can make good things happen. You can make good things happen. You see it in very basic circumstances as well. 5 likes, absolutely. Big ups to everybody who's smashing a like. Please make sure that you are doing so and continuing to do so. That would be most appreciated if you can do so. Everyone seems like there isn't some chemistry between them. There isn't. There absolutely isn't. It's like you'll get 1 or 2 passages of play per 90 minutes, and it's just like, wow, that's so good. But why don't they do it for 90 minutes consistently? Why don't they do it for 90 minutes consistently, and especially against better opposition? I mean, you think with how many chances we got given tonight. You think about how many chances we got given tonight and how wasteful we were. With 33 shots, we score 2 goals. So what happens if we play against a team that limits our chances and the attack plays like that? We're done for. We're absolutely finished. We'll get smoked alive in a split. We'll get smoked by Snoop Dogg twice on Sundays as well. I don't think our players train full stop other than when the cameras are in. To be fair, it might be something, maybe if we get the Amazon documentaries, the all for nothing documentary cameras in there, we'll see just how hard these guys are working. Oh, they're sacrificing. Oh, blood, sweat, and tears in training. It's just a war zone. It's like Spartans in training, Monday to Friday. Sometimes over the weekends, you'll see commitments outside of training. People going for runs. It's really hard work, and we're grinding. It's all just for the cameras. Just for the cameras. Rashi doesn't pass to anyone. Too slow, too predictable. Absolutely. And that's the thing, is if he actually pushes himself to another level and actually uses his quality to find the killer pass, he'll get way more assists and probably would incur more clear-cut chances to scoring more goals. But instead, we watch Rashford run at a defender, cut inside. He's about 30, 40, 50 yards out, and he shoots for goal. But he hasn't got the execution. So it makes absolutely no sense as to why we even bother. Play one of the academy. I mean, fuck me, play Garnacho on the left wing, play Pellistri on the right, like I've been saying for a while. Stop with this wasteful backing with this PR merchant, this politician, Sunak's bestie on a fucking night out. Like, just fucking bench him, drop him from the squads, sell him, sack him, do whatever. Do whatever. I'm sick and tired of him. Absolutely sick and tired of him. Big up Hot Furs. I did see a question from a Man United fan, said, where is Delo better, left back or right back position? Thoughts? Big ups to Anthony. There's 2 different types of game that you get from Diogo Dalot. I think when he plays on the right, I feel like he's more of a supporting player. Whereas if he's playing from the left, because he's a bit more of a right-footed player, he does like to get closer to the box and become a bit more central. So he's essentially one of the cutback options, and I suppose that's probably where he's opted to become a bit more of a viable goal threat, and he consistently does that. He does consistently do that. Um, did it last season, did it a couple of times already this season. So for me, it's like we get two different types of Diogo Dalot, dependent on which side you play him. He's more supportive player, so he opts for a cross. Whereas if he plays on the left, he tries to get closer to the box for a shot. Um, as fans, I think it's time to accept what we are and cheerlead this crap, or take a break and check back pre-season. I mean, I suppose the quicker that everyone starts saying everything, saying everything as they actually genuinely see it, and starts to promote up, elevating standards of this club, because I'm gonna have a mooch around with other fan channels and see what it is they're saying, because surely I can't be the only one. We can't be the only ones that are actually more disappointed with that than actually happy. I mean, at the end of the day, a win is a win, and it's the FA Cup, so we go through to the next round, and with an easier tie coming up, it's a perfect opportunity to actually go through and cement a deep run into a competition. Like the opportunity is there, but knowing what we've just seen tonight, we know that it's just the case in point that these teams don't have the quality per se to put us to the sword and convincingly beat us. Would probably be the only reason why we would actually potentially do well in the FA Cup. And the fact is that we're just praying, we're begging, please don't get a Prem team, please don't get a Prem team. Like, that's how bad things are. That is how bad things are. We pray not to get anything close to a Prem team, even higher standard Championship teams. We're begging not to get them so we can just go far in the FA Cup. And I mean, if you're begging for Manchester City as well, or top level team, if you're begging for that in the FA Cup, I mean, it might just be the case you want us to get knocked out sooner, and just wrap up the season quicker. But I'll tell you what, if Ten Hag would have lost this game tonight, I think he's on the last straw. Because technically, a prerequisite is that you get European competition. You qualify for European competition at the end of the season. If you don't, you're sacked. And if we're only in the league and failing in just the one competition that we're in, I'll tell you what, the seconds that this ratification period is done, the manager will be out the door. He'll be booted out. Ten Hag told the players in the dressing room the FA Cup is about winning, and they have done it. Fergie would have got the hairdryer out for that performance. He would have done. He would have done. Hello, Rovers. Hello, Jaminho. Big ups to you, man. Good to see you. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. And also to Mama Flossie as well. Great to see you guys in the chat. The positive is we are finally in the last 16 of a competition. The positive is that this finished Man United team's managed to go further in a competition than Arsenal. Sorry, Jaminho, but Diogo Dalot isn't good enough for United, if I'm honest, but he's not the biggest problem at the club. He's not. He's not. But this is the thing: if we're on the eve of massive changes, to be honest, I'm approaching this. In reality, I'm approaching this with the thought in my mind that nobody should be safe. Absolutely zero players should be safe from potentially being kicked out the door. So, to be absolutely honest, the sooner that I'll tell you what, Dave Brailsford again watched another game. Jean Claude Blanc apparently was in the stands and he did not look happy. He did not look impressed. And do you know what? I don't blame him. Former director of Juventus and PSG. That guy has just watched 90 minutes of a Premier League team trying to figure out how to put the ball in the back of the net against a lower table League One side and failing miserably. That guy, I'm almost certain of it, has just watched the worst game of football or the worst performance for his team that he has ever seen in his life. Sup, you bellends. Big ups to Longhaired Yeti. Good to see you, man. Nice win wasn't convincing, though. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm not comfortable with heading into Spurs off the back of that. Anything to say that we'd win this game convincingly would give me something to take or to hold on to going into the Spurs game. But if Marcus Rashford plays, if McTominay plays, it's over. Wrap it up. We'll lose at Old Trafford to Tottenham Hotspur. And they can play bloody whoever they want in whatever position. We'll still lose to them. And it won't be close either. It wasn't either, to be honest. Wow. Yes, you haven't seen him for ages. Also, Ten Hag is almost always seen talking to his brother and not Steve McLaren or others. Why is that so? Mitchell van der Gaag, I think, is just his assistant coach. Just the assistant manager, so pretty sure it's just the same thing. You know, Ollie talking to Carrick. Like, the only person really that you'd see Ollie talking to on the bench at any time is Michael Carrick. Jose Mourinho, also with Carrick, and forgotten what the other guy he used to be with. And also, by the way, Louis van Gaal used to speak to AirPod Albert because he was our assistant manager when Louis van Gaal was in charge of Man United. Little AirPod Albert used to be in the Old Trafford dugout. I've been looking at a new cave. I might be moving out. This one got insulation. Come to see a. Oh no, he's bringing this up again. I pray Ten Hag is sacked the second the Premier League sanction the takeover. Why else would Brailsford wait? Well, I'm looking at it like this. Is they're doing this review period that they're saying could last up to 8 weeks. And I'm thinking, but you spent a whole year doing a takeover looking at what's going on at the club at the time because it's a business in operation. So if you were to just completely go eyes wide shut, right, just completely oblivious to everything, or just exuding, I'd say, ignorance to what's going on, you're sort of left in dire straits when the second you get control and you're like, oh no, what do we do? Were you not watching what was happening? I mean, I can't imagine. I think there's a lot of talk at the moment with this. There's a lot of talk. Yeah, we're going to review this. Yeah, we're going to review that. Yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do that. I don't think there's the intent to rock the boat just now. I don't think there is. I think there's got to be a point where they're waiting to pull the trigger, and then they are absolutely going to literally just, it's going to be all hell. It's just going to be let loose. All hell's going to start raining down. Everybody is going to be pissing themselves out of fear for their jobs. I'm hoping that that's what's in the pipeworks, and I am hoping that Jean-Claude Blanc says to Dave Brailsford after watching that that's going to be the plan. Yeah, I've just seen one game in the flesh for United, and I know we've got to change everything. Rip up trees, rip up roots, all of it, everything. Amazing win. Big up Fuzzy. The chat. Far from Tony. Far from Tony. But big ups to you, man. Good to see you as always. Not some divide amongst the technical team management, hopefully. So I wouldn't really say that there's like divide in and amongst the management, or in terms of like the coaches and stuff. I don't think that's the case. I wouldn't think that's the case. I don't think that's ever really been ever a factor in a manager. I mean, maybe barring Jose Mourinho and his initial assistant manager when they first came in, because I know that the assistant manager for Mourinho, I've forgotten his name, it's another Portuguese bloke, used to be seen with them by his side all the time. After I think it's the first season, he went off his separate ways, went to do his own thing, whilst Mourinho carried on. So I don't think there is anything to do with that. Eyes Wide Shut, nice movie. To be honest, I've not actually seen anything from Eyes Wide Shut. I know it's a movie, but I've never actually looked to see what the movie's about. So, big up DJ Bro. Absolutely. Big ups to Tony. Big ups to all of the channel regulars. Always fantastic to see people in here, man. Big ups to you all. Could be worse, Fuzz. You could support Arsenal today. That's true. That's true. I mean, the worst thing, I'll tell you what, the worst thing is that with United, how trash we are, it's so blatantly obvious, but we're on the eve of potential, landslide changes that could alter the future of Manchester United forever. Like, it's possible. Whereas Arsenal, it's sort of this facade where it's like there's this belief that Arsenal are in a much better position than where they actually are. They're walking down this road that has a dead end at the end of it. It's like they're driving at night, they're driving down the road, there's a dead end and a cliff at the end of it. Everybody else who's driving around them has got night vision goggles on. They can see this. Oh, this guy's heading straight for the edge. Arteta's driving his Arsenal car, with low beam, and his car battery is about to run out just before he gets to the end, and he's just driving straight for the edge. Like, there's trouble ahead for Arsenal, I feel like. I mean, what is it? 1 win in 7 games currently for Arteta. Yeah, that's not it. Worst run of form that they've had since sort of November time 2020. They were down in 15th. One of Arteta's 8th place finishes in the season that year. So yeah, not great. Ten Hag should have listened to Ranić. He didn't, and now look what's happening to him, dude. Well, Ten Hag is a guy that knows he's under pressure, and so you see more desperate acts, I guess, and maybe reverting to type with stagnant decisions and just mediocrity, and that tends to happen to managers that are under pressure. And Ten Hag is not really going to be any different from anybody else. And as far as Ralph Rangnick is concerned, I'll tell you what. In terms of recruitment specialists and getting people in, it's quite possible that maybe Ralph Rangnick does get a call. Maybe Ralph Rangnick does get a phone call, and he's not going to be asked, "Hey, do you want to come do a consultancy role?" They're probably going to say, "Listen, you're last offered a consultancy role at this club. How do you fancy having a really powerful position as technical director?" Because he might overhaul the structure surrounding the team, and then you have somebody else who goes out looking for the players. And Fabrizio Romano is saying that there's probably a plan to put in two or three. The fact that he even mentioned two or three, I mean, Dan Ashworth, we're going to have to really wrestle off of Newcastle, I feel like, because Dan Ashworth, he's done a good job with recruitment for Newcastle thus far. And I think with the projects that's laid out ahead of them, it won't take a lot of convincing to keep Ashworth at Newcastle. And it's going to need to take a lot of convincing to get him out of Newcastle. I think it can very much be done. It can very much be done. But so we're going to have to put faith in. We have to put faith into Ineos to going out there once they've got the power, once they've got the pull. Once they've got the pulling power, then let's see just how good they are with this tug of war rope. You've seen any rumours of new players or anything aside from Elise? As far as any players are concerned, I don't think there's any clear and obvious players set to come in. I think there's another really frustrating story. Again, that is absolutely just Glazonomics to Cloud9. Anthony Martial, whose contract expires in the summer, let's loan him out for 6 months to let him walk out the door for free in the summer. Why not sell him? Why not? Because this board are that trash. They cannot sell. They couldn't sell a packet of crisps to a homeless man for free. They are that bad. That bloody trash. As far as Elise is concerned, an interesting thing that we could end up doing is doing a player plus cash deal for Elise to soften the financial blow by offering them Aaron Wan-Bissaka, former Palace player and somebody that I think they potentially, one of the only players I think Palace might actually like and might see him as a relatively good fit for their team. So we'll see what the plan of action is. That would be a deal that does interest me. As far as strikers goes, I think with all of the other transfer targets, that include anything that's a purchase, transfer purchase is going to be a summer talk. It's going to be a summer deal. As far as January goes, I think we're all just tied to loans, but removing players is still very, very front and center for priorities for this club, for what we need to do and where we need to go with improving this team. But do they have an Acme rocket? An Acme rocket? Arteta does, and you know how that ended for the Wigan Coyote. To be absolutely honest with you, I have no idea what you're talking about, Tony. But if you are able to explain that to me in chat, I'm too zoomer to understand. It's, I hope they keep Arteta until after our game, but knowing how they'll get rid after Palace, and will be the next victim of a manager bounce. Nah. To be honest, there's too much PR around Arteta. But they'll back him to the end of the season at least. I think. I mean, it would show a different. It'll show a different side to Edu if he gets rid of Arteta preemptively. If he does that, it would show a different side to him. So, I mean, never say never, but I think he's too much of a club puppet to really sort of be up and off out of the door. Big ups to Luca AFC. Good to see you, man. Hope all is well with you. Ranić doing that would be great, man. It absolutely would. It absolutely would. Imagine that. Can you imagine this? Dan Ashworth, Ralph Ranić, and Paul Mitchell all working together to build a super team of Manchester United Football Club. The best club operations ever assembled in the history of the game. Unbelievably efficient in how it conducts business. Some of the best selling techniques you've ever seen. Some of the best buying techniques you've ever seen. Some of the best foresight you've ever seen. And that's the thing. If you've got a really competent board, they make transfer decisions, or they make club decisions that sit 2-3 steps ahead of the curve. So it's absolutely worth having people with great vision and great foresight, but just in general, people that are very good at their jobs. Roadrunner and the Coyote dude, Looney Tunes. I'm only 12, so I'm not old at all. Well, I know the Roadrunner and the Coyote dude. I did used to watch Looney Tunes, but that was years and years and years ago. Not seen no Looney Tunes ever since as well. But guys watching on playback, do be sure to get your thoughts and feelings about the game and the performance in the comment section below. Make sure you also like the ting and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I got it. Meep meep. It's like Dan James, that. Dan James is literally a roadrunner, just a pace merchant. Pace merchant, I'll tell you what, Dan James the pace merchant still probably do a better job as a footballer at Manchester United than Anthony would. I mean, the guy lacks genuine ability. He lacks genuine ability, but still probably has a better impact on the football pitch. But anyways, that's basically going to be wrapping up the match reaction for tonight. Transfer stories that we'll go over. I'm sure I'll be able to do a stream for tomorrow, cover some of the latest transfer rumours as well as other conversations that are going on around the club. Should be roughly around similar time, probably a little bit earlier, dependent on what goes on. But big ups to everybody that has stopped by, tuned in, and joined me this evening. It's not the kind of evening that I was going to expect to have, thanks to United, of course. But of course, it's a win at the end of the day, so we shan't over dwell on it. It's not like it's a loss or an embarrassing loss where it's like we have to deal with the flack for days on end, weeks and months, and quite possibly years if we've lost tonight. So thankfully, it's one of those. Yeah, see it for what it is. You say it as you see it, give the honest verdict of it, and then you can just put it behind you, and hopefully we can do that. Thank you to you, Mother Flossing. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Big ups to Kudos as well. Looking forward to Friday. Absolutely, there will be a match, not match reaction, a match preview for the Manchester United Tottenham game with Kudos featuring on the channel as well. So do make sure that you do tune in for that one, guys. Would be most appreciated. But that's it from me for tonight. Big ups to everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll most likely be seeing you tomorrow for another transfer update show. We'll talk about the latest and greatest news in the world of Manchester United, and quite a few outgoing stories. So we'll look to address those when we get around to it. Until then, take care, everybody. Good night, and let's see you all back here again tomorrow. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.